Welcome into the 49ers Report. I am Chase Sr. Give me a follow on Twitter at Chase_Senior. With the 48th overall pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the 49ers have surprised a lot of people by drafting a guard that kind of came out of nowhere to be selected by San Francisco, Aaron Banks out of Notre Dame. Now, he definitely fills a position of need. In the previous mock drafts that I've done here on the channel, we have pinpointed the offensive line as an area of need for the 49ers. But I'm a little confused by this pick because he's not necessarily a scheme fit. Now, Aaron Banks is going to be able to come in and protect Jimmy Garoppolo if he's going to be the starter here in 2021, and eventually, of course, Trey Lance, who the 49ers, as we know, made that splash for with the number 3 overall pick on night 1 of the draft. But Aaron Banks at 6'5", 325, he takes up a lot of space. He's a massive human being and is great in the run game, but he's kind of slow-footed, and Kyle Shanahan loves his centers, loves his guards to pull out, get in space, especially in the run game, and he likes his offensive linemen to be agile. Aaron Banks doesn't necessarily fill that category. Now, this was a trade back for the 49ers, so let's pop up the trade details here. The Las Vegas Raiders moved up to pick number 43, and they also received a 7th-round pick for San Francisco, 230 overall. The 49ers moved back to pick number 48, while also picking up a 4th-round pick, 121 overall. So now the 49ers are slated to pick 102 in the 3rd round and 121 in the 4th round. So I actually like the value in terms of the trade here with the Raiders. I'm just confused for the pick because I think it's a little bit of a reach, and I'm confused about the scheme fit because I didn't see Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch going after a bulky guard. I was looking at them going more so for an athletic guy who gets out in space in the pool game, in the run game. So 49ers fans, some of you might be surprised by Aaron Banks going to San Francisco. What is your one-word reaction to the 49ers selecting Aaron Banks, guard out of Notre Dame? For me, it's a big surprise. That's my one-word reaction. It is surprise. Now, if you were kicking it with us here at Chat Sports on night 1 of the NFL Draft, appreciate all of you for rocking with us. But we're going to continue to go hard, do our thing, and have a bunch of fun because we are going to continue to break down every single pick, every single round of the NFL Draft on our Chat Sports main YouTube channel. So subscribe and join the party. How do you do that? You go to youtube.com/chatsportstv and hit that big red button, subscribe. We're going to be live for the rest of day 2, rounds 2 and 3, and also all throughout the day on Saturday for rounds 4 through 7. So subscribe to our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. Let's take a look at what Aaron Banks did for Notre Dame in 2020. No sacks allowed. He allowed 3 hits on Ian Book in what was a fantastic season for the Fighting Irish. 7 hurries allowed at the guard spot. And, hey, there's no doubt that this guy has talent, but for me, I had him more slated as a 4th-round grade, maybe even 5th-round grade. So for the 49ers to move back and get him at 48, yes, they certainly fill a position of need because I was looking at them targeting a cornerback maybe in the 2nd round. Even wide receiver or edge rusher. They go offensive line, which I do like. The pick, though, a little bit curious. So Aaron Banks going to the 49ers. He's going to provide future protection for Jimmy Garoppolo if he's going to be the quarterback this upcoming season, but also for Trey Lance. And from that thought process, I actually really like how the 49ers are thinking. Because when you bring in a raw quarterback prospect, what do you want to do? You want to do what you've seen the New York Jets do this year with Zach Wilson. Provide him with weapons. Provide him with protection because you want to keep your quarterback upright. The Los Angeles Chargers are also doing the same thing with Justin Herbert. And what John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan are doing with this pick, they're trying to provide future protection for their future quarterback in Trey Lance, who they look at as the face of the franchise in years moving forward. And you look at Aaron Banks as a prospect. As I said, he's not a guy who's really quick-footed, which is the one concern I have about this offensive lineman prospect. And he's not a guy who is going to wow you like an athletic offensive lineman like Alex Mack at the center spot, who will pull out and go stride for stride with some running backs across the National Football League. This is more of a heavy-footed guard who takes up a plethora of space along that offensive line. Good in the run game, good in the pass game as well, just a little bit slower. But I think Kyle Shanahan, He's brilliant, right? And I trust his player evaluation process. They liked Aaron Banks. They saw good value in him going back from 43 to 48. So at the end of the day, I'm going to trust Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch because I think they're one of the brightest, if not the brightest, head coach and general manager duo across the NFL. So the faithful, this is the question that I have now. Do you like the pick of Aaron Banks to San Francisco at 48 overall? Get into the comments, type Y for yes, I like the pick, or type N for no. Let's take a look at what's going on here in the second round of the NFL draft. So, hey, Jacksonville Jaguars, they go with Tyson Campbell, cornerback out of Georgia. Elijah Moore goes to the New York Jets. Javonte Williams goes to the Denver Broncos. Javon Holland, the safety, goes to the Miami Dolphins. We continue to look at some of these other picks. Landon Dickerson out of Alabama. Yes, he's coming off 2 torn ACLs, one at Florida State, one at Alabama this past season, right before the national championship game. That is a player that I had mocked to the 49ers at the center spot. I would have loved the 49ers taking him. Maybe the thought process here is, hey, if Landon Dickerson falls to the 49ers at 43, they were going to take him. He gets chosen by the Philadelphia Eagles, so then what the 49ers do is trade back instead and go with Aaron Banks. And then some of these other picks, not necessarily players that I thought the 49ers were going to target. Maybe Trevon Merrick if they wanted to address safety. Maybe Liam Eichenberg, but I think they're set at tackle. Kelvin Joseph is a guy I didn't think the 49ers were going to take a chance on because he does have some character concerns. He went to the Dallas Cowboys. Walker Little to the Jags at 45. Jackson Carman to the Bengals at 46. Asante Samuel Jr., another player that I probably would have taken at 43, but he was gone there at 47 right before the 49ers made this pick. So maybe Asante Samuel would have been the guy if the Chargers didn't take him at 47th overall, and then Aaron Banks falls to San Francisco at 48. We're going to continue to break down all of these 2021 NFL draft prospects that the 49ers bring into their practice facility in Santa Clara, guys who we hope are going to be franchise pillars for this team for the next several years. So subscribe to the 49ers Report. The best part about it, all of this coverage, all of these videos from us here at Chat Sports and the 49ers Report and your boy here, it is all free. So hit that big red button down below if you haven't already done so, or go to youtube.com/49erstv and subscribe to the 49ers Report. Let's further look into Aaron Banks going to the 49ers. I think the thought process here is, hey, let's provide Trey Lance with some protection. We don't know if he's going to play right away. My guess is that they go John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan with the Kansas City Chiefs model, and they sit Trey Lance, who's somewhat of a raw prospect, for maybe a year. You have a Super Bowl ready roster right now. You start Jimmy Garoppolo. You groom Trey Lance in the meantime, but looking ahead, you provide Jimmy Garoppolo with protection right now if Aaron Banks figures to be a starter right from the get-go, but also looking ahead in the future, you give Trey Lance some protection up front. On an offensive line, I like how it's shaken up. I mean, you bring back Trent Williams, you bring back Alex Mack, but there's no doubt they restructured and brought back Mike McGlinchey. That's another move that I really like. But the theme there with some of those guys, they're starting to get a little long in the tooth. They're getting a little bit older. So Aaron Banks is going to be an influx of youth talent and youthful energy on this offensive line. He's 23 years old, a redshirt junior. Some might say, he's 23. He's a little older. I actually love that and value that in my offensive line prospects because I think that tells me these guys are ready to play right from the get-go. And if he needs to sit, that's fine because, hey, you pick him at 48, doesn't have to play right away. So Aaron Banks going to San Francisco as we break it down here on the 49ers Report. So San Francisco on day 2 has 1 pick remaining if there are no other trades, 102 overall. Who do you think the 49ers should draft next? Get into the comments, come up with some NFL draft prospects. I'll check them out and see what you all come up with.